Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Julie and this is Stamp with Julie Baum. I am an independent demonstrator with Stampin Up and I'm here today to show you the cards that we made at our June Stamp Club. This is 2022 and typically we will make 3 projects at our Meet in Person Stamp Club. And today I will be showing you the first of the 3 projects. I'll show project number 2 and project number 3 in separate videos, but you will know because I will put a note that they are from Stamp Club June 2022. Now this is kind of fun because if you are part of Stamp Club but you were absent this time, you can see the projects that we made and perhaps make them on your own. And if you are not part of Stamp Club, then you get to see what types of projects we do, and perhaps you would be interested in joining when Stamp Club starts a new term. I'm going to put lots of information into the description below this video, some links and lots of other helpful things. So be sure and check out all of the notes underneath this video. So the 3 projects that we are making are all from the same suite of products, and this is called Hues of Happiness. And each project obviously is going to be different, but we're also going to be using different elements of this suite. So let's get started with this first card, and I will give you more information as we go along. So the first card is actually kind of commonly known as a bookbinding card, and I have a whole separate YouTube video showing how to make another bookbinding card, and so I will put the link up here so that you can find that easily. This is one example of the card that I'm going to make. Here is a second example of the card, and then I'm going to be using different papers and different colors on the one that I will make right now. So the first thing that I have to get started here is my piece of cardstock. So this is a very typical card base, 8.5 by 5.5, scored down the center at 4 1/4. So this is a typical size of a card base. This one has also been scored at 3 1/4. So when it was in my scoring tool like so, I made my score mark at 4 1/4 and then just left it in place and did one at 3 1/4. So I'm going to go ahead and fold that fold. And then what happens is this gets sealed down like this so that that part stays glued down. So you can do this with liquid glue. I think that's what I used on my other video where I'm just doing bookbinding cards. This time I'm going to use tear and tape, whatever method you prefer. I am going to lay my tape on here, and like I like to do, I'm going to use my little metal ruler and do a nice straight tear on that. Now this little helpful tool is something that I got on Amazon, and I will put the link down in the description to that item as well if you would like to go find it there. Not only is it useful for measuring, but it makes for a great straight edge for different elements or practices like I just did. All right, so at that point I want to release the backing tape. So let me find my take your pick tool. As I mentioned, you can use your Stampin' Seal or your liquid glue for this. All you want to do is make sure that whatever you use, well, if you use the liquid glue, that you don't get so much on it that it oozes out. You want a nice, clean seal. All right, so there we have our card base. I'll set that aside. We also need a couple pieces of designer paper and some white cardstock. So what I have is a white piece that is 5 1/4. Let me double check. I've been stamping a lot today. I got measurements running through my head. 5 1/4 by 3 inches. This is going to go on the inside of the card. Then for your designer series paper, you're going to need 2 pieces of coordinating paper. These also are 3 by 5 1/4. So this one I'm going to use on the front panel of my card. This piece, which actually is the reverse side of that paper, and it's just kind of a painted canvas look in a rainbow look. So this is going to go on the inside of my card. And then the third and final piece of designer series paper is 3/4 of an inch by 5 1/4. And this should also either match your front paper or just coordinate. And let me bring those other samples back in and I'll show you. This one has matching paper and this one has coordinating. So the card that I'm going to do right now, I'm doing the coordinating. So I will grab my liquid glue and let's get all of these pieces in place. All right, so just a little bit of liquid glue goes a long way. I'm going to go ahead and attach that narrow piece, again 3/4 of an inch by 5 1/4. My card base is Night of Navy, and I chose that because I know that it coordinates with the colors in the designer series paper. Okay, and I will also do the front panel. This is a pretty fast card. The other video that I did, it was on a Simply Saturday episode, which Simply Saturday is devoted to fast and easy cards. All right, so there's that. Then we'll do our gluing on the inside. So again, it's totally your choice. You could use this piece on the inside too, the same, or showcase a coordinating side. I have actually never done this one where I have used the same. I always flip it or use a different paper. I think this time I will use it just so I have a whole nother example of a different look. I had a little bit of adhesive on here, so I'm just using my adhesive remover. Here we go. All right, so this will be fun. I have not done this before. As I mentioned, I always use a coordinating paper for the inside, but I'm really loving these flowers against the Night of Navy. So I will use that this time. Isn't that fun? You can just change your mind on the fly. Just depends on your mood. All right, and then this white piece is going to go here. Not that one, that's a scrap. This white piece is going to go here, but I'm probably going to put a stamped image on it, so I'm not going to attach it quite yet. All right, so let's set that aside. Now I can take that scrap that I almost grabbed too soon, and I'm going to stamp my words on this. So I'll bring in a mat here, and let's see, I think I will use, I'm looking through the stamps in that set. I think I'll use this one, Wishing You All the Happiness You Can Imagine. And this is going to get stamped on a piece that I'm going to punch out. Now, most of the time, honestly, like 90% of the time, I will do my stamping first and then punch it out. This time, I'm going to change my method and stamp the shape out first. And every time, I do not know why the name of this punch doesn't stick with me. I think it's Label Me Lovely. I'm gonna look real quick. I did the same thing in another video and I had to put the name of it in the description because I couldn't recall it when I was using it. It is Label Me Lovely. See, I shouldn't have questioned myself. All right, so now that I have that shape, and the reason I wanted to do it first is these words are like super nice and straight, 4 lines all lined up. I'm going to use these straight edges as my guide to get this stamped on here really nicely. I'm going to use Night of Navy ink. And I have not stamped with this ink pad today, so I am going to stamp on a scrap and just get the feel of it. Stamps have a different feel. Ink pads have a different feel depending on how much ink is in them or if they're starting to get dry. Okay, that stamped very nicely, so let's just do it. All right, and I'm aiming for center. All right, there's our words. Okay, and then on this inside panel, I'm going to take this little bouquet that is from the same set. Let me just pull in the stamp set so you can peek at that. I showed it to you in the catalog, but not just the stamp set. So here's the set, and I just stamped with this stamp, and now I'm going to stamp with this one, also in the Night of Navy ink. And this is just going to go on the inside panel to give it a little pop of color and decoration. Okay, that's done. So this can get attached now to the inside of my card. And then we can decorate the front and wrap this up. All right, so I'm centering it to try to make equal Night of Navy borders all the way around my white piece. Tap it down. Using your liquid glue is helpful because if you need to slide it one way or the other, you have a little bit of time before it dries. And once you're happy with it, then I'm going to actually close it and press the back, ensuring that I don't accidentally smudge anything onto that white piece. Okay, so let's do our front. Oh, that looks so cute. I love it. I love these papers. All right, so this is going to go right here on the front. I am going to use some dimensionals, and I'm down to the bottom or the end of this little pack, so I like to use up all the edges. So I'm just going to snip some of these pieces apart and still use them as if they were the full hexagons. All right, so I'm going to put, only because these are little partial pieces, I'm going to use 3. Otherwise, I think 2 would be plenty, but I will go ahead and put 1 on each side and 1 in the middle. All right, so there's the words. And then all I need is a little bit of bling to bring this to life. And at this point, you could use really whatever you have on hand. There's a variety of embellishments that would look good. I am going to grab for some rhinestones. And also, I want to use these flowers. These are super cute. These are new. They're called Fun Flowers Resin Shapes. Aren't those cute? All right. And even though they are raised, they're not super, super high. So this is still going to fit nicely into an envelope. Not have a problem with that. All right, let me get, it would be really pretty to use a yellow one. A green one would look cute, but because I'm sticking with my Night of Navy, I'm just going to go with a blue one. So I'm going to take 1 blue flower and add it here. And then back to my original idea of my rhinestones. I'm going to add 3 of these, just a little bit in a random fashion on the designer paper. So I'm going to put 1 here, 1 here, and 1 more. Oh, this one's running away from me. And one more down here just to give a little sparkle so that it catches the light. And there we have project number 1 from Stamp Club in June with our Hues of Happiness bundle. The stamp set is called Happiness Abounds. The bundle is Happiness Abounds Bundle. There we go. And the entire suite is called Hues of Happiness. So make sure that you watch project number 2 and project number 3. And thanks for watching. I will see you next time. Bye.